guys, I'm Tasha and welcome to my channel. So we have been in the series Hot Girl Summer and we have talked about Girl Get Your Money Straight. And within the Girl Get Your Money Straight or guy, we discussed budgeting. And so before we got into Girl Get Your Body Right or Tight, I wanted to get into a little bit more detail about budgeting. So this video is budgeting explained, and we're going to talk about 3 different budgeting rules. So 1, you have the zero-based budget. 2, you have the 80-10-10 rule, and 3, you have the 50-30-20 rule. Now we're going to use this on a $3,500 income. But before we get into that, let's go over the Hot Girl Summer 5 things that you should do to get your life in order. Let's review those first, and then we'll get into the video. The first thing is, girl, get your money right. 2nd, girl, get that body tight. 3rd, get your mind right. 4, girl, get some sleep. And 5, plan for your future. So today we're going to be talking about the 3 different budgeting rules that you can use for your money. Now, as I stated in the last video, there are a lot of different rules out there, but as long as you're using the rule that's good for you, it doesn't matter which one you use. But I'm showing you the 3 that I've kind of seen. There's one rule that I just learned about, but I actually really like it. So first, we're going to talk about the zero-based budget. And I'm pretty sure that everybody knows about this budget, especially if you are following Dave Ramsey. He says that you have to allocate all of your money down to 0. Every dollar counts, and all of your money is allocated to 0. Then you have your 80-10-10 rule. Now, I just found out about this 80-10-10 rule, but I really like it. So 80% of your income is going to go towards, your life, which can include your mortgage, your rent, utilities, food, travel, those types of things. So your first 10% is going to go towards tithing, charity, gift giving. That's going to be your first 10%. And then your last 10%, that's going to go towards either saving or investing. I really like this 80-10-10 rule, so we will look further into it. And last, we have our 50-30-20 rule. Now, on the 50-30-20 rule, what you're going to do is you're going to have 50% of your income for your needs, 30% of your income towards your wants, and 20% of your income towards savings. And I'm sure that quite a bit of people have heard of the 50-30-20 rule. Now, from the beginning, we were going to use a income of $3,500 a month. So that's why it is broken down by these numbers. So if you're using the 80-10-10 rule, you're going to have $2,800 towards your life, all of your needs, 10% of your income towards your tithing, charity, or gift giving, and then 10% of your income towards saving or investing. If you are doing the 50-30-20 rule, then you're going to have $1,750 for your needs, you're going to have $1,050 for your wants, and then you're going to have $700 for your saving. So now we're going to transition into looking at these a little further. Let's go. Taking a look at the zero-based budget, I pulled up Galvin Oxley's budget. It's called Build a Budget That Works. I actually tried to find it on the web and I wasn't able to, but this is a copy that I've had for several years and I could just go in and make changes to it. So from the beginning, we were using a $3,500 monthly income, and we're gonna do a zero-based budget with this budget, build a budget that works. What is so cool about this budget is, although you are doing a zero-based budget, you can also break it down into how much is actually you're using per month, the percentages. So from here, you can see that housing is about 28.24% of this budget, and transportation is about 8.86. But then you can also see that life is about 41%. So this is a really cool budget. Let's say you're doing the envelope system, or she did the jar money. So putting your different categories, your monthly or your weekly expenses into a jar. Because some people get paid monthly, I get paid bi-monthly, and this is weekly. So that's why I was saying in the beginning, you have to kind of do what works for you. And then for me, I rather use, at the time that I was doing this, I would always use my debit card, but now I'm only using my credit card so that I can do credit card churning and get the points that I need to use for like entertainment. So weekly I'll use about $120 for entertainment, and then I'll have like $136 weekly for pocket money. But for me, that's really gonna be on food, because this is pretty much maybe like the grocery store, and this right here is going out to eat. So, but with this budget, we were starting out with a $3,500 monthly income, and we were gonna do a zero-based budget. So here are the expenses. So this is a mortgage expense, your NES, and so everything is broken out. And then when you come all the way down, here is zero. So you should have nothing left. But let's say you didn't have debt repayment, and then there it is, you still have money left over. But the whole point of a zero-based budget is that every penny is allocated somewhere. So even if I didn't have any debt, I could allocate this $385. Maybe I have a trip coming up, and maybe I want to add 200 of that to here. So then that'll be 300. So then when I come down here, I still got $185. Well, sometimes when you're getting ready for a trip, maybe you need to buy some additional clothing, or just things that you need to be able to be comfortable on your trip. So maybe I can add $100 or $120 here. So I still have $65.57. And maybe I have a dentist appointment coming up, which I do have a dentist appointment coming up on Monday, and so that's gonna be $65.57 that I could put in, because for the month I know that I have a dentist appointment. So now I'm back to a zero-based budget. So with this, you can just make sure that you're allocating your money in the appropriate column. So yeah, I really enjoy the zero-based budget, but I think my favorite budget is gonna be the 80-10-10, and that was something new that I found out. So when we take a look at the 80-10-10 on the screen, you will see that while it is maybe like 9 cents off, we have a monthly income of $3,500, and we see that it is at 100%. So 80% of your expenses is going to be life. So it's going to be housing, transportation, travel, insurance, gas, all those types of things. And then second, for the 10%, for me, it's going to be tithing. For you, it could be gifts for others, or you could allocate that 10% paying yourself, or you can allocate that 10% however you want it. And then the second 10% is going to be savings, because you want to make sure that you're saving a portion of your income every month. And so I really like the 80-10-10, because you're making sure that you are paying yourself first. Automatically, zero-based budget, you still can allocate the money, because at this point you know where all of your money is going. So more than likely you're going to allocate money for transitioning into the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income is going to go towards your housing, your transportation, and so that $1,750 from the $3,500 income that we have coming in, to me that's just going to make it a little tight compared to the 80-10-10 rule. But when you are actually looking at this method, you really can combine your 50 and your 30%, that's 80%, and then with the 20% you're just breaking it down into 10 and 10. So the main thing about using any of these methods is that you're knowing how much money is coming in versus how much money is going out, and you just use the rules that are going to be good for you. I hope this information was helpful to you. Drop down in the comments and let me know, are you budgeting your money? Are you using the zero-based budget, the 80-10-10? Tell me if you've even heard of the 80-10-10 or the 50-30-20 rule. Please share, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.